Hey everyone, Chang here and welcome to my channel. This is the skill building video series. Today's topic, we're going to go over how to graph linear inequalities. Now, before I even go into graphing linear inequality, there's two things we have to differentiate. Here we have a greater than or equal and a less than or equal versus a greater than and a less than. So what we're going to do in this case is that we have to figure out which one is which. When you graph greater than or equal and less than or equal, you're going to graph it like a normal line, like that. Simple as that. Well, I mean, in that orientation. It could be other orientation, but basically it has to be a solid line. If you're talking about greater than or less than, in this case, what you're going to do is instead of graphing a solid line, you're going to graph basically a dotted line. Now, the reason for that is because greater than or less than, you're not actually incorporating anything on the line. So this dotted line indicates that you're not including anything that's actually on the line. The solid line, you are including all those as well. That's why you have the or equal, and that makes it solid. So we have to differentiate that before we start graphing. Well, let's start graphing. All right, so for our first one, we have y is greater than 2x minus 5. Now, before we can graph this, let's just consider this line right here. Y equals 2x minus 5. Same thing, except for this one is greater than, this one is just equal. What we're going to do is we're going to graph this guy and convert it to this guy. That's how we graph it. So this right here, y equals 2x minus 5, is our slope-intercept form. Our slope right here is going to be 2. Our intercept is going to be negative 5. So when we graph it, let's just do that right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so right here we're going to start off. Our intercept is negative 5, so we're going to start off right here. And our slope is 2, technically just 2 over 1. So what we're going to do is we're going to rise to 1, 2, and over 1. So from here, rise to over 1. There it is. And we can continue going on and on. Now we have 2 points, we can draw a line. But here's the thing. Before we continue to draw a line, notice that this is a greater than symbol, not a greater than or equal. So instead of a solid line, what we're going to do is we're going to draw like a dotted line. And I'm probably not going to draw it as accurate as I would hope. So here is our dotted line. Now, is that it? Not yet. Because even though we're not including anything here, we want to make this statement true. So what you can do, the best thing to do is you can pick a point from both sides of this line. You can pick any point here, plug it in and see if it works. Pick any point here, plug it in and see if it works. Only one side's going to work. Because if you have both, then, well, I mean, you have the whole plane, and this makes no sense, right? So you want y is greater than 2x minus 5. Now, first and foremost, let's just look at this side. I'm going to pick what I feel like is the easiest point, the origin, 0, 0. That just makes it so much easier. Well, if I plug in 0 here, 0, and it's going to be greater than 2 times 0 is 0, and then it's going to be minus 5, is 0 greater than negative 5? Yes, that is correct. Right? So in that case, what's going to happen is that we actually have to shade everything on this side. That means we know the other side doesn't work. So, I mean, I'm going to try to shade it with markers, but probably not that great. And of course, it's going to die. So, right here, everything on this side of the line is true. So this would be how you graph this particular inequalities. You first figure out what it looks like as a line. Remember if it's greater than or equal, less than or equal, or it's just greater than or less than. And then in this case, we just did a dotted line. And then afterwards, we pick a point from one or two sides. I pick the easiest, 0, 0, and then we test it. If it works, then it's everything on this side. So this graph right here would be this inequality. All right, so for our next inequality, we have y is less than or equal to negative 1 over 3x plus 3. Once again, we're just going to start off by rewriting this as a linear equation. So we have y equals negative 1 over 3x plus 3. And then we're going to graph this guy. we have our coordinate plane. Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once again, this is our slope-intercept form. So our slope is right here, and our intercept is right here. Okay. Well, in this case, what we have is that our slope is negative 1 over 3, whereas our intercept is just 3. So let's just start off with 3 is right here. 1, 2, 3. And then rather than going up and across, we're actually going to go down and across. So it's going to be down 1 and then over 3. So it's going to be down 1, 1, 2, 3, over 3 is right here. Now, what we're going to do before anything is to look at this. This is a less than or equal. Since it's a less than or equal, that means the line that we're going to draw connecting these 2 points is going to be a solid line. So let's just draw a solid line right here. There it is. Okay. Now, after that, the final step we have to do is figure out if it's going to be all of here that we're going to shade or all of up that we're going to shade. Well, in that case, once again, you just pick a point from one of the 2 sides and test it. If it doesn't work, then it's most likely the other. If it works, then it's the side that you just picked. So in this case, let's just pick this one. I love picking this one just because it's so much easier. This is 0, 0 origin. So if I plug it into here, if I plug in 0 for this y right here and 0 for x right here, what do we got? That's going to be 0 is less than or equal to negative 1 over 3 times 0, 0, 3. Is 3 or is 0 less than or equal to 3? Yes, right? 0 is definitely less than 3. So in that case, I picked correctly. So what we're going to do in that case, we know that all of these points is going to work. Everything else here is not going to work. So we're going to have to shade. And my marker is dead. All right, we're going to have to shade everything here. And this would be our graph for this inequality. All right, so for our next one and the ones after that, I'm going to refrain from giving an explicit explanation, and let's see if you guys got it. I think you guys do. Let's begin. Thank you for watching this video on how to graph linear inequalities. See you in the next one.